What a crash. What a crash in the US stock market and in the crypto markets. Bitcoin tanking, went below 100K. This is all because what did Pablo predict? What did Pablo predict? A massive crash caused by the Chinese AI called DeepSeek, right? Collapsing Nvidia. And I explained this in many videos and many my tweets before in my Discord, and it's crashing the US stock market down 18% in one day. Largest loss in human history, yeah, for any stock market in US history. For Nvidia, it's the largest stock in the world, so it's wiped out $1 trillion from the US market, and that's tanked crypto as well. But where are we going next? The only one who's called all this, the only one, right, who called all that storm. Look at this. Look at this, all this storm happening. What's going to happen next? We got a cracker episode for you. We're going to go into Bitcoin, look at what the Trumps are buying, and we're going to try to copy trade some of the Trump boys. Okay, here we go. So the call, I found a better one for you guys, so I've just posted it on Twitter. The call went out. This is my Twitter page, but this is from my Discord. This was on 28th of December. I said, this DeepSeek open source AI from China used just $5 million, they claim, 2,000 GPUs, right? And what is really, that's really low amount. That's really small if they only used that. What is really scary here is if you are a NASDAQ investor, is that they're able to achieve similar results, even beat US AI, using just 1/30th the money, resources, and GPUs, right? Now, why do you need to buy so much GPUs from Nvidia? That's going to crash the market, right? So on the same day, look at this, December, 28th, on the same day. So I said, so Nvidia is in trouble. If it can't make a new high, then thus it's going to create a right shoulder right here in January and Feb. This is shoulder, head. This is the right shoulder. It couldn't make the new high, right? Then we have a monster head and shoulder pattern on Nvidia. Monster head and shoulder pattern on Nvidia. That's a big threat, right? We got to take it seriously. And do you want to see how that chart plays out now? First, you can see this. I'll minimize it so you can see this is on my my Twitter page. Here we go. This is Nvidia. This is how the chart is playing out. So at the time when I drew this chart was, I drew it around mid-December, around here. But on 28th of December is like here. I was talking to my Discord once again about it, right? It's basically around here, telling folks that of what's coming. So we have this right shoulder. It got up there, double top, but couldn't close above, right? So you could call that double top. So this could be a massive, like I said, monster head and shoulder pattern. Left shoulder, head, right shoulder, right? Something like this, and boom. So according to my chart, we're going to bounce along this red line, and then we're going to break the red line around here. I was expecting like early Feb, but this news dropped a little bit early, right? I had this bounce off the support around this 1118 area, and that's exactly where we ended up right now, 118. I'm probably thinking we probably might get a little bounce here, right? And okay, so let's let's talk about what happens to Nvidia and how that impacts the overall world first before we get onto Bitcoin and crypto, because this is so important now, because as you guys can see, this is so destructive. This is the most destructive force in the world right now. I was calling for this crash, and yesterday, up till yesterday, I have been pretty much spot on, as accurate as you could be. This was 1 month out, calling the biggest crash in US history. But however, since now everybody is like following Pablo, everybody's like, all the other guys out there, influencers, saying, Nvidia's screwed, no one's going to use Nvidia chips, Nvidia's going to crash, da-da-da-da. There's too much of that going on, so now I am wondering if this will be the top or not. I'm thinking probably then I adjust. Whenever everyone agrees with me, then I adjust. And for now, I think we're due for a bounce. And I'll explain to you why we're due for a bounce after this. But let me just ask you, which crypto exchange does Pablo use? Pablo uses a non-KYC exchange, right? That means you don't need to show your ID. That means you stay private. That means Americans can use it because they can't tell you're American, because the exchange doesn't even know who you are. They don't ask for your ID. That means the IRS can't see you. The CIA can't see you. FBI. The tax office cannot see you, right? Many advantages to this privacy. So This is what I use, the largest non-KYC exchange in the world. So that means there's great liquidity, lots of great fills, and 1.3 million users already. They have lots of great prizes just for signing up, right? Up to $5,500 just for signing up and trading on there. So if you're on YouTube, then it's on the description link right below you. It's in the description right below you. If you're on any of other my socials, just go to my page. Just go to my page. There's the Stan link. We'll click on there, and it's basically the first thing that pops up. It's the first one that pops up. We'll click on that one, and boom, here we go. All right, now back to Bitcoin. So the thing about Bitcoin is that yesterday I was telling my Discord, I said we have some support around on this green line here, right, which is around 97.6 area, and yeah, we closed with a big bounce off that line. That's very good for confidence, and we can still get sort of refill the wick, sort of partial refill the wick, like to 99 again, 99.5, something like that, and bounce is what I'm thinking. Why do I think like this? Because right now Bitcoin has made the bounce back up, but Nvidia hasn't. Remember, the key to all this is Nvidia. Nvidia right now, after close, is up only 1.5%. It was down 18% yesterday, and has only made down $24. Now it's only up as of the time I'm making this video, which is midday Asian time. Nvidia on Tuesday, Nvidia is only up like 1%, so hardly any bounce. But Bitcoin's gone back up all the way, right, to above like 102K or whatever. That's a really strong close. So, and what you've noticed yesterday is that, yes, the NASDAQ was down 3%, but Nvidia was down 18%. AMD, another chip maker, GPU maker, was down like 9%. Yeah, 8-9%. But what happened is a lot of the other stocks didn't go down that much, right? Some went down. If you were in tech stocks, you didn't go down that much. So essentially, my thinking is this is too obvious. My instincts, nothing's 100%. So my instincts were, I called this crash in Nvidia. I thought it was coming, and it did crash. But now I'm looking for a bounce because the fear has gone to the maximum. Because what happens is the market usually, it sells on uncertainty. When there's lots of uncertainty, they panic. And right now, there's a lot of uncertainty because they don't know what this Chinese AI is. There's still a lot of people saying that, it could be fake. They could have lied about that GPU numbers. I bet you they did not. That's the info I'm getting. But you guys can try and go ahead and prove me wrong. But the market, it's uncertain right now. There's people betting either way. So in times of uncertainty, fear is maximum. When uncertainty subsides, then we could actually see a bounce. And the bounce would come something like this. As I originally drew, right, the bounce would come here to retest this red line again. So because we're here, so then come into 132, 135 area, hit that red line, and then go down. If it's going to play out this chop around here, actually, that it's going to play out this massive shoulder, head, shoulder pattern. We need to bounce into the 30s and then come down. See how we go. If we fail again and come back down here again, then yeah, that's a pretty big chance of a head and shoulders. Now we've just looked at Bitcoin. Now let's look at ETH. ETH basically. Okay. Once again, Ethereum. If you've been watching my videos, I said I'm looking for an inverse head and shoulders. Inverse head and shoulders. So we had shoulder, head, and when I made the video yesterday here, I said I'm looking for around here. I said I'm looking for a dip down here, right, to roughly, just for symmetry, just to hit this mark, which is 3090. Obviously, there was a lot of panic, so it went past that. It went to what, like 3020s, right? Okay. So we have the bounce, and my thinking is if Nvidia leads the bounce, where if some good news comes out, then we could actually bounce from here because this can be a bull flag, something like this, and boom, right? I think ETH can do well after this. Okay, why do I think we're going to get a bounce, even though everything looks so gloomy, even though the US stock market is down so much? The reason is because this. One word, Trump. Trump has already been putting pressure on Jerome Powell even before coming in here. He's saying, you got to cut interest rates. You got to cut interest rates. Jerome Powell's the head of the Federal Reserve. And Jerome Powell's like, no, I'm independent. You can't influence me. Now, he can influence because, Trump doesn't care. He doesn't give a F about the law or whatever. He breaks laws all the time. He's 80-something. Please arrest me, right? So he's been doing these kind of illegal stuff already quite often. And what he's going to do is this. The reason why the Fed is very hesitant about cutting rates, even if they want to, there are two reasons. One, they say they're controlled by the bankers and they want to stuff up the Fed, Donald Trump. Or the more realistic reason is that Trump keeps on talking about tariffs. So if he does pull off those tariffs against China, against Europe, against whoever, then what's going to happen is basically inflation goes up in the US. Now, Trump has said to the Federal Reserve, don't worry about inflation, because I'm going to push inflation down. How is Trump going to do that? Well, not core inflation, but for CPI, the headline CPI, not the core inflation, but core PCE or core CPI, the headline CPI or the headline PCE, what you can do is, as long as you push oil prices down, and that's pretty simple. You all know this. Trump says, drill, baby, drill. During the Biden administration, they've basically stopped a lot of drilling or fracking because they want to protect the environment, whatever. I'm not going to get into politics, but that's just the way it is. Now Trump comes in, he says, drill, baby, drill. So he's going to really push U.S. Drilling and fracking to go ahead. And basically, he says 300 million barrels per day produced in the United States. I think they only produce something like 1.2 million. So that's like 220%, 230% increase, right? So that's a lot. When that much oil hits, and China is not demanding a lot of oil right now, so then oil prices go down. I think he's gonna go to the Federal Reserve and make that promise. He's gonna say, look, you just cut interest rates. Jerome Powell's gonna say, no, I can't because of inflation. He says, you don't worry about inflation because I'm gonna increase oil production to 300 million barrels a year. I'm gonna do it. And that's gonna bring oil prices down so you don't have to worry about inflation, at least not headline inflation. I think that's what's going to happen. And I said to my Discord, especially yesterday was a panic sell. This kind of stuff sets off alarm bells with the Federal Reserve. If we get another panic sell today, right, if that 118 breaks and Nvidia goes down another 3-4%, I'm not saying it will, but if that happens, then the Federal Reserve will start stepping in. They'll have guys come out midday, they can't. They're in a media silence period, but they'll send signals to say they're going to ease. What they're going to do is either cut interest rates or basically cut interest rates, or basically they could say they'll NQT, quantitative tightening, mark this spot and come back to it. See if Pablo gets this right. They might say NQT, right? It's going to be hugely bullish for Bitcoin and probably for altcoins as well. So speaking of altcoins, one more altcoins I'm looking at is basically something in the Ethereum ecosystem. Remember when this dump was happening yesterday, when everything was collapsing, basically the Fed, what's his name, the Trumps bought more Ethereum, $10 million more Ethereum. They hold like $270 million of Ethereum right now. So Aerodrome, is basically the main DEX on base layer. Base is layer 2 on Ethereum, so it's a very important part of the Ethereum infrastructure. So Aero, my thinking is we're in a cup and handle pattern. This has gone deeper than I would have liked. It would be nice if it bounced at this $1.16 area. So I bought some down here yesterday, right around the 90s, low 90s, right, when I was panicking, right? So basically cup and handle, and this is a well-established panic bottom, 0.86. We've tested it kind of twice, this high 80s, and then bounce, and it's gone up since then. I'm thinking something like it'll have resistance around here because this is the bottom of the rising channel. So something like $19, $20. Next, right there, yeah, because that's the channel as well. Next, $18, $19 area. Next, resistance, and then obviously $35, and then $80. And then it'll be all-time high again if we get there, $2.27. So when everyone's panicking like this, I try to stay positive because when I wasn't panicking at all yesterday, as you can see, I was actually kind of quite relieved because one of my biggest calls ever, like the largest crash in history, came off because Pablo called it in advance. So psychologically prepared, financially prepared, then basically I kind of got out of harm's way. And in that case, when everyone else is panicking, so I'm just watching and observing and saying, okay, that's a lot of panic over uncertainty. They actually don't know what China's got. I think what they've got is the real deal, but a lot of people out there are still speculating, and they could still, Nvidia can still actually go up from here, right? Let's see what happens. I've drawn the path that I've drawn. Let's just observe and see what happens. I always get nervous when everyone else starts agreeing with me, saying Nvidia could be finished. I do think it's a bubble. I do think it'll pop. Is it going to play out exactly like my orange path? I'm not sure, but I think the NASDAQ, I've been saying this, I think the NASDAQ has one more leg up, what I call blow off top. Once we go through the blow off top, I think that's it. That's the end of this bull run for Bitcoin, for crypto, for the NASDAQ stock market, and we're going to a pretty bad bear market for next 2 or 3 years. But of course, everyone wants to time a beautiful exit. I'll be here and see if we can walk through this together. And thank you for tuning in, guys. Catch you for the next episode. Okay, catch you.